Coach Coons, along with Coach Porter. We're here on a Sunday night. Going to talk to you a little bit more about baseball and softball recruiting. Chad, why don't you get us started and go? A big football weekend. Upset number one, early
Yeah.
game in Detroit right now. If you're following football, watch out for Detroit.
Yeah, huge football weekend. We wanted to drop in here on this Sunday night and say hello, and also talk about an upcoming podcast on Thursday night. This coming Thursday night, February 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. We would love for you to email us. Coach Coons will give you our email address, some questions, some topics, that type of stuff. We would love to for you to give us some feedback and us to help you out. So that's the first thing. We're excited about that. But we wanted to try to jump in here around halftime and say hello as some of you players in the southern part of the United States or Texas, Florida are into your regular practice schedule. Us up here, we still got a few weeks to get into it, and then of course we've got some JUCO and NAIA teams already playing this weekend, which is exciting. Uh, Shout out to Steve Appel at the University of the Southwest, one of my buddies. Took a opening series this weekend at home down in Hobbs, New Mexico. So that's cool. But I'm excited about college baseball starting. Division II and a lot more NAIs will get started next weekend. Although the NAI did, they were allowed to play this weekend. But excited. Get on the internet, watch these games. Gauge yourself a little bit against the competition, but if you really want to be good at this game, you want to be great, you want to make it to the next level, you got to become a baseball, kind of an addict to it, being addicted to the game and watching
Right.
stuff and learning stuff. So get on there and watch. It's on there. And the other thing is the Caribbean series getting ready to start on Thursday. Watch that. Great baseball. I know the Dominican Winter League, I believe, ended last night with Game 7 in their series, and now the Caribbean series, February 1st through 9th. If you can watch it, MLB.TV, I think. Watch it. Those are awesome games. Those guys literally will play and then head to spring training, Valentine's Day. I guess, pitchers and catchers report right on Valentine's Day this year, or like the 12th, 13th, 14th.
Yeah,
So,
you only got what I think 12 days before
yeah,
pitchers and catchers, and then right
yeah.
after that you got the full blown spring training. And I know right around Valentine's Day, Division I baseball opens up.
Then D1 baseball will be opening up too. So that's really cool. Yeah, I know some schools up here were outside. Some D1s that if you were a D1 and you had turf, if you were any division and you had turf up here in the Mid Atlantic region, the guys were outside inter squadding this weekend. We've been fighting rain and weather, but hey, it's an
Right.
exciting time.
A lot of
Coaches
schools,
clinics are
yeah, a
yeah,
lot of schools down here have been out. And if you live in Buffalo, you should be on the field sometime around June
June,
after
June.
watching those football games with all that
Yeah,
snow. Yeah, but that's why a lot of teams from up there come south. They'll play in Florida. They'll play at there's complexes down there that are Division III baseball comes down, and there's probably 45 teams there.
yeah.
Then the week after that, Division Is will come down, and there's another 40. It's just, and they'll start their leagues down there, and then by the time they get back up, it's ready to go.
Yeah. We when I played in college, we went to Fort Myers the first couple years and went to Cocoa Beach. And that was awesome. That was always something to look forward to. And one of the things that we can talk about soon is what a typical college season looks like. We've talked about fall ball and we've talked about off-season workouts, but what's it really look like in terms of the travel and where you go and what you do and how you open up? As a player, my teams in 4 years playing college baseball, we always opened up in Florida, end of February, beginning of. We always opened up in Florida, and then we would play a full slate up here. But when you would go to Florida, you'd play like 11 games in 7 days. You went down there and
Right.
played. Yeah, there was no messing around. You were playing, and we'd always get to a spring training game, and then we would come back up. And where we were, in West Virginia, we could come up and usually we had already been on the field before we went to Florida, and maybe once or twice we actually played a game before we went to Florida. But our weather's kind of hit and miss here. But anyway, just going over the schedule. But it's just excitement as a college player this time of year. You're getting into February. It was always exciting because we were about ready to leave for Florida in about 3.5 weeks, and there's nothing like it because
Right.
you'd get down there, you'd be in a gym, and then you'd get down there and from Friday to Sunday, you're there. And it was the best experience. And making that travel roster to go down there was always a big deal. So anyway, there is no spring break for you, gentlemen. And however, going down south and playing somewhere is way better than anything else. That's kind of what you dream of.
And I think that's a fair question. You bring up a great point. That's a fair question to ask a coach on your visit. How do you travel?
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to Fort Myers, watched tournaments down there. I've seen vans from Ohio. So you're traveling a 16 passenger van down there,
Yeah.
from Ohio to Fort Myers, Florida. I've seen charter
Yeah.
buses. I've seen planes and they rent vans there. Girls softball, same thing. I mean, there's a big girls softball tournament in Orlando, ESPN. Uh, it all depends on, does that school fundraise for that sport?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good question to ask. It's and believe me, if you are looking for exposure and your high school team does one of these tournaments early in the year, there are tons of coaches there to see you play. Tons. Uh, they'll be walking around the field with clipboards. You'll see them leaning over the outfield fence, and they're just taking notes and getting a directory ready. And you may be on a list. They may talk to you. You don't know, but there are tons to see you play. So just don't take it as a trip to Florida or a trip south, and think that these non-league games in the beginning of the year don't mean anything. They may not on your schedule, but they do if somebody's sitting there watching.
You'd leave there with, as a position player, I'd leave there with 30, 40 at bats for the week
Right.
because we would go down. First of all, I did both. When we talk about travel, we flew when I was at Heidelberg. I played at Heidelberg College. We flew at Ohio Valley University. We chartered, and um, when if you charter, you're probably in a situation where you're driving all night. You're asleep, but you're going all night. And obviously the flight's really good. I can remember playing in the morning and being home late that night after playing and flying home. So um, pretty cool. But when you go down there, there's no messing around. We would leave
Oh yeah.
on like Friday, Thursday night. Actually, one year, coach, I can remember playing we opened up our season at Northern Kentucky University, who's now Division 1. We opened up and then we came back to school for a day, went to class, left that night at like 11 o'clock at night, drove all night, got to Cocoa, practiced. So you get the cobwebs out a little bit, took some BP, and a lot of these places that teams go in Florida are former MLB spring training sites. So when you go to
Correct.
these facilities, sometimes there's dorms. At Cocoa Beach, we stayed in player dorms. And there's, like 10 fields. There's practice fields, there's game fields, there's batting cages all over the place, covered cages, bullpen areas. Um, we would go down there and literally play like a doubleheader every day. And then you maybe get a day off on like Wednesday. We would go and maybe take BP, Mass Fungo, PFP, stuff like that. Guys need to throw bullpens through them. And then we would go to like a spring training game. Then you come back and then you play doubleheaders the rest of the week.
Right.
Maybe a 9 inning game one day to mix it up, but it was always a big deal. And Coaches strategically put rosters together to go down. They're going to take a lot of pitchers and may leave a position player off the list, because when you're going down to like a Florida, a lot of guys are going to a lot of teams, at least when I played, would take 25 or 27 kids. Some schools are a little bit different with their policies, but I remember 25 to 27 was going, and I bet you we took 15 pitchers.
Yep.
15, probably 15 arms, and obviously guys, there was a couple guys at times that were good ball players that ended up starting later in the season and got left off the travel roster
Right.
because of the amount of innings you're going to play. And if you're a pitcher, you're going to pitch at some point. When if you're going down and playing 10 games, I don't think teams go down and play as many as they used to. Tom, we would go down and play like 10 to 12 games. And I
Yeah,
remember the end
I
of the
think
week being
that's
gassed.
what I remember too.
Yeah. But I loved it. And that's what you worked really, really, really hard for that opportunity.
Right.
We did some stuff to fundraise, but a lot of teams will open up the season that way. As you know.
Funny story too. You want to talk about somebody who might not be playing. A few years back, I saw team was down there, Lee County tournament. It's the old Red Sox spring training
Yeah,
facility
Fort
before they
Myers,
moved
yeah.
over to JetBlue. And this team was playing. Kid got hit by a pitch in a baseball game. Side of the helmet, down he went. They put a player in. The kid, they sat him the rest of the trip. Put a kid in. That kid proceeded to go 24 for 25 for the rest of the trip.
Yeah.
Came home batting 960.
Yeah.
That kid ended up being player of the year in that conference, and they went to the NCAAs. So
Yeah.
always look these opportunities. I'm not saying, don't wish for somebody to be injured, but always take an opportunity. You're going to be down there. You're going to practice. You're going to bat. You're going to do this. If you think you're going to go to Disney and you're going to lay on the beach and stuff, you're going for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Enjoy the sunshine. Enjoy the field. You play the greatest sport in the world. You know why? Because you don't play it in the rain. You're on grass. It's beautiful outside. You're in sunny Florida. And while you're there, you high schoolers, get somebody to film you, but make sure that that person filming you is getting in the right positions to do that.
Yeah.
I've seen so many film, tape, video on sent to us or on Twitter or X, uh, and they're posting it for colleges. And I'm thinking to myself, have that person with that cell phone get up against the fence and get a good picture, get a right angle so you can see the pitch coming in, whether it's softball or baseball, either one. And get, whether you're working out, whether you're playing in a game, but some of them that we've been sent, you almost got to try to zoom it in if you can. And the goal here is don't make a coach have to work to see you. You do the work so the coach notices you.
Yeah.
And I think that's an important thing. I mean, if you want an idea on how to film, email us that too. Email us that. Let us know. We'll tell you. We filmed kids before. We've been to tournaments. We've seen it. But like I say, we're working with guys. A guy right now. Some of the film's good. Some of the film's not good. So you want to post on Twitter. You only maybe got 2 films you can really use. Get
Yep.
yourself a library there. And the other big thing that we've noticed with athletes that we're talking to, working with, is make them current.
Yeah.
If you're looking to get into school, nobody wants to see your JV baseball film. Show them where you are now, how you're working out now, how you're fielding balls now, running bases now, those types of things. I think that's the key. Because I know as a coach or former coach, to get as many players' names and film and things like that, I don't want to take the time, or do I have the time to try to get this far from my computer so I can see what number is what, or who is this, or who's that. Make it so it's easy. Explain who you are, explain your number, explain the position, explain everything, and then have that person work with you. It's okay to say, hey, that film really stinks. Let's try another one.
Yeah.
Because let's face it, we're trying to get you noticed. You know, if you want us to come film you, we'll come film you. I've done that before too. Um, we'll work with you. But I think that's a key. Make life easy for the coach from what you give them.
Yeah. Something's got to jump out. Sometimes I would get these films like Tom was saying, and you would look at them and you're like, I can't really, or a kid hitting off a tee, or look, pitchers, get behind, okay, get as close as you can so we can see movement. If there's a radar gun, get it in the picture so we can see movement, we can see your mechanics, right? Then get a side view and a behind view for us. I'm serious, because
Yeah.
even if there's no radar, even look, if we can see a little bit of movement and arm speed, what's your arm speed like? Because that's something like if there wasn't a radar gun and you're telling me you're throwing 87 then 89, like I know what that arm speed looks like. I'm
Right.
and
Yep.
the other thing is hitters got to be able to see the bat speed, right? Got to be able to see the bat speed, and try to get different angles there. Like it's hard in video to see ball flight, but we can see bat speed. We can look on Twitter and be like, that kid can get the barrel through the zone
Right.
pretty good. So that those are some things in your size, and make sure you're dressed appropriately, right?
Right.
Make sure you're representing yourself well. Make sure, to me, those are things that jump up because there's a lot of different things guys are looking for. And
And what's funny is I'm not going to mention any by name, but there was I like this video on X today. A girl, and like I said, I don't want to mention name, practicing slap hitting for softball. One of the best videos I've seen. Watching her working on her mechanics in a cage, working on slap hitting, and I'm thinking a coach is going to like that because that's what you do in softball. I have
yeah,
seen other softball girls. I mean, I follow a couple girls. They don't even work with me. I like their videos, and I let them know that. Um, Baseball side, you got a pitcher out there throwing 70 miles an hour to you, and you're crushing the ball. You may look like the best thing next to peanut butter. But guess what? When you get to college, Division One, you're going to see 90 miles an hour and up. Division Two, you're probably going to see upper 80s. Division Three, you're going to be mid to upper 80s. Show how you can handle that. I've seen guys crushing a baseball, but when you analyze their swing and you look at their swing, they got a loop in it. They got this in it. You know, great movie, Clint Eastwood. What was it? Problem with the Curve
yeah,
or Trouble with the Curve?
trouble with the curve.
Trouble with the Curve. There you go.
Yeah,
Guy had a loop in his
short,
swing. Yep. I mean,
short swings,
you don't.
short,
You may
compact,
not get
balanced
that,
swings.
but when you're getting to somebody to film you, take a look. Slow it down. See what you got back there. The less bat movement you have in the back, the less you're going to have in the front. It'll come through that zone. And things like that. But that goes right back to the video again. Those things will sell you. I mean, how many cars do you buy and you've never seen them before? You look at a picture of the car, you analyze it, you go see it. You're going to do the same with a player here. They're going to look at the video. Hey, I might be interested in this kid. Let's go see it. Or look, the video isn't very good. I'm not going to take the trip. So you get into that. As a former coach as well. What gets you out of the office to go see somebody?
Yeah, look, tools. So, at the plate in a video, balance, bat speed. Like, I mean, seriously, does the swing? Do I think that the swing can play against teams against the pitching at our level. Then obviously with pitchers, arm speed, build, mechanics, all that stuff. But look, they're looking for Jimmys and Joes,
That's
right?
right.
I
That's
mean,
right.
a mule's a mule. Yeah, hey, Cal Bailey once told me, legendary West Virginia State University coach, just got elected in the ABCA Hall of Fame this year. He said, Chadwick, a mule's a mule. I mean, look, I'm telling you. So look, that's what coaches are looking for.
Right.
And trust us, reach out to us, get on a podcast on Thursday night, fill out a questionnaire. We want to work with you. We want to help you, and we'll get you somewhere.
And the questionnaire, you bring up a good point. There is no commitment on your part to fill out a questionnaire. We will evaluate you for nothing. Call you up, say, hey, look, we give you an honest opinion. I mean, there's companies out there, you may be already working with them. That's fantastic. Whatever they did to sell you that's fantastic. We're doing it for nothing. And if you want to work with us after that, that's fine. But we
Yeah.
will give you an honest opinion. We've done that with every one of our clients and tell you what to work on, tell you where to go, things like that. Whether it's baseball, whether it's softball. I actually had a volleyball player call me, sent me a film. I coached volleyball in high school. I can't even tell you how many years ago that was. But, we're here to help kids. And that's what we'll do. And there's no commitment to fill out that questionnaire. Or you can email us at aheadinthecountrrecruiting@gmail.com. And you can send it. You can ask us whatever you want to ask us. You can direct it. Chad coached a long time. If we told you the number of years between the two of us that we coached in college, we'd both sound like antiques. But, we know people. We know what we're talking about. We'll help you. And if we don't know, we have contacts that we can ask that does know, that give you the information. So we're here for you. We're willing to help. Like I say, email us aheadinthecountrrecruiting.com LLC or aheadinthecountrrecruiting LLC at gmail.com, or visit our website that's on the screen and do the free questionnaire. There's no commitment. We're not going to hound you. We're not going to hard sell you. We're not like some of the other companies out there. We'll work with you. And if you don't want it, that's good. We'll wish you good luck.
Well said.
Don't forget now, this coming Thursday, Feb 1, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 7 o'clock Central Time. I don't even know what that is Pacific Time, to tell you the truth.
5 p.m. 5 p.m. Pacific.
There you go. I'm Central, you're East, and the rest of the country's that way.
Yeah, that way.
But we'll be on. We'll have another topic to discuss now that the season's rolling. And we'd love to get some emails with some questions, and we'll answer your questions. And you can also go live on this podcast and type us questions right then, and we'll answer them as we're going. But we hope to see you Thursday. Hope you have a great week with school. Hope you have a great week with your season, and look forward to seeing you.